Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the Bitcoin show. Today is March the 1st, of 2023. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. One day closer to an all-time high. Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high. I'm offended by selling. All right. Hello, my elite friends. How you doing? Be proud to be elite. Strive for elitism. Strive for greatness. That is what is in today's mainstream normie society. Everybody wants to be a victim. That's cool. Dude, personal responsibility is the new counterculture. Elitism is what you should be striving for. I retweeted a Greg Thomas article about that earlier today. Follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. We're doing this video because Henry Law, he put us over the top. So we need $100 for the next one Bitcoin show. So also, I want to thank everyone on Twitter. Again, I'm TechBalt, TechBalt. You retweeted my tweet promoting this show 10 times. And I said, as soon as you do this 10 times, I'm going live. So I'm live. I am in Greenville, South Carolina. I've been here, 6 days. It's a lovely town, South Carolina. Hadn't spent much time here before. I remember driving down to Disney World as a kid, and we slept in South Carolina in not a great motel one night. That's my biggest, driving on 95 to get to Florida or Georgia is the only experience I had here before. But I've been here for close to a week. It is great. This Greenville is expanding. It's exciting. All right, so we got a lot of. If you guys got questions, I got answers. Do a super chat. Again, we need $100 more for the next show. Although we'll have a This Week in Bitcoin show coming up pretty soon. But somebody sent me some T-shirts that will be coming here soon. Also, I'm going to be on Thomas's show, World Crypto Network. I'll be on there on St. Patrick's Day, it appears. And then I'll have that show on here. So there's some appearance, but I'm on Twitter every single day. Come on, people. I'm on there every day. And last week I did a video from Mardi Gras in Lafayette, Louisiana. I was outside. You guys say you like that stuff? It's linked to below, okay? So play this at 2x again if you're watching this tape. It goes by better. Play everything at 2x. This is Coinbeast. That you can get T-shirts like this linked to below. And I just have all these ideas written down. And I'm just going. Henry, this is for you, baby. Okay? And I'm just going to go, this wasn't like it's thoroughly planned out. These are my thoughts that I write down during the weeks and everything. So where we go? Oh, yeah. Disinformation experts. That's a new rent-seeking industry. Pound that like button. They get the government to say, hey, this is disinformation. I'm your expert. Yeah, again, rent-seeking is when you get the government to put an obstacle in people's way that shouldn't be there. So speaking about the government and people who love the government, Rachel Maddow, a beautiful man. I mean, Rachel Maddow is a handsome man. If you like men, I assume you think Rachel Maddow is a handsome. I like women though, so I'm not attracted to a man like Rachel Maddow. But Rachel Maddow, this famous man on MSNBC, was talking about a war protest that was in D.C. Was it 2 weeks ago? It ended up being very small. Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago in D.C. People who think the United States shouldn't be having a proxy war with Russia, because that is what is going on. Okay, you could you could love Russia or love Ukraine or whoever, but it's a proxy war. It is the United States is funding a war against Russia. So I mean, it's insane. I mean, Russia is this. I've gone off on Russia for years and years and years and years before all this. You all of you are familiar from when I was in Israel, and I would say Russia is so pathetic because they have these Russians trying to get out of there. They pretend to be Jewish to move to Israel. I mean, and they don't even like Jewish people. And some of the people that are moving there. I'm not going to make generalizations about all Russians or whatever, but some of the Russians that moved to Israel, they don't like Jewish people very much. But they wanted out of cold, dank, horrible economy Russia that much. But for years and years now, thanks to people like guys like Rachel Maddow, people have put Russia on this pedestal, like we should care about Russia at all. Russia is less important than Israel. This little teeny country, Israel, is much better than Russia, much. And people are speaking with their feet. I mean, but besides that, so I just want to put it out there again to remind you, because a lot of you can't remember anything. I have not been a fan of Russia for many years. I mean, am I a fan of the Ukraine? No, they're corrupt as anything. I mean, do I like Zelensky because he's of my same religion? Is he really? No, I don't like him. And there's a few things I don't like. He married someone who was not of our religion. I'll tell you that. Okay, it went off on a little rant on there. But going back to Russia and Ukraine and all, there's a protest in D.C. And Rachel Maddow, of course, tries to paint the people there as, horrible people. I linked to the clip below. I was shocked. Well, I wasn't shocked that this man does, he stoops to such lows, Rachel Maddow. And Rachel Maddow's got a paranoia about the former president and Trump and again, Russia. So vilifying Russia. So they say that the people that were there were Russia's supporters, and that's not true. They weren't Russia. They weren't all Russia. Some people might have supported Russia. And she says there were white supremacists there. It's just there's these the pantheon of villains that guys like Rachel Maddow and the mainstream media love to talk about. You got your Trump supporters, your MAGA, your white supremacists, and then all of a sudden she says crypto promoters. Oh, cryptocurrency promoters were there, just as bad as the KKK in his mind. So, excuse me, I'm sorry I misgendered like that. I'm trying to be politically correct. Oh God, how did I misgender? Pound that like button. All right. So yeah, I wanted to point that, and I've been warning about this for a while, that some of these guys that are in the mainstream media, they're just mindless haters that are part of the mainstream culture are just, they don't use their heads. And he might not even be trying to be that vicious toward cryptocurrency promoters. It's just becoming natural now that cryptocurrency goes with wealth, and wealth is bad. And thus, if you're wealthy, you're with the bad guy, the Russian supporter. Okay, so just wanted to throw that out there. Going to tie in Rachel Maddow with Bitcoin somehow. And he didn't say Bitcoin. Again, sorry, misgender. He didn't say Bitcoin. He said cryptocurrency. Okay, so let's get into more lowly, scummy stuff. We talk about the scum that is Rachel Maddow, and scummy people who are just gotta lump in stereotype people, just the scapegoaters. I can't. One of my pillars is no scapegoating. We're gonna go, and another one of my pillars of life is to see. Don't see life through the freaking racial lens, okay? Or the class lens. Seeing life through the class lens is Marxism. Seeing life through the racial lens is wokeism, basically now. I mean, wokeism is seeing life through the victimization. I mean, I don't want to study wokeism right now. But you get my point here. We got envy out there. Envy, it goes with the scapegoating type of thing. But but classism, Marxism is that makes more sense than doesn't make more sense. It's not as bad as this sickening, animalistic, seeing life through a racial lens. But doing that appeals to 80%ers in so many ways. So you've got more and more people monetizing it. Now, Scott Adams is a smart guy. Everyone remembers during the virus and before the virus, I was calling him a C-U-C-K, and I knew he would get divorced from that woman eventually. I knew he would marry her, and then she would divorce him because he values his wealth in women. That is one of his weaknesses. And it was just very sad and pathetic how much of a C-U-C-K he was. But then he got really scared of the virus. That I didn't know was going to be even, I had no clue. But he's sick too. He's got illness and whatever, and he's a hypochondriac, and he lives among the leftists. He is a leftist, but he's a smart guy. He knows how to monetize 80%ers. So what he says the other day appeals to this racial, just, it's so low. It is just, I'm disgusted by the racial lens. I really am. And I just want to encourage everybody, admire cultures, okay? And I mentioned Greg Thomas a few times. This is a guy who's gone beyond race and should be some people should look up for when we're talking about, just not see, because right now, anytime you check out the mainstream media, and I try to avoid it, in the virtual world, it is sickening. It is sickening in the virtual world how race is dominating. Now, if you don't have children and you are out in the meat space, I don't see it very much. These people talk a big game online. But in person, if you don't have kids that aren't being taught this, now when you have kids that are being taught this stuff at school, you got a problem. You got a big problem, a real big, and they're doing a great job convincing children, to see stuff through a racial lens to an extreme, to hate yourself. Hate everybody. I mean, it's disgusting. But and then there are some cities that I guess are more toxic in terms of racial. When you have what happened in Minneapolis, obviously that became real life. When you have riots on the street that are race based, that becomes real life. But you got to move with your feet. You got to move. You got to go to a culture that's not obsessed with it. That might virtue signal about it, but in ways that aren't going to physically harm you and stuff. So in previous videos of mine that a lot of you haven't seen because they're on my backup channel or they're only on Twitter, I talk about, I love of all the big cities in the United States and I consider all the cities that have major league teams. There are only about 50 of those in the United States. Salt Lake City is the best. If you're in Baltimore, you think it's horrible, you can't stand it anymore, move to Salt Lake, period. Move to Salt Lake City. That's it. Get out of Baltimore. You have no excuse. Stop crying about Baltimore. And I complain about Baltimore, but I left Baltimore, and I spent a lot. I'll be in Salt Lake City soon enough. Again, I visit Salt Lake City at least once a year. Who knows how long But okay, I ran on again. I ran on Scott Adams. Let's go back to Scott Adams here. So he gets he's the big villain of the day because he said he talked about a poll, and the poll itself was disgusting. You do have to wonder about the poll where it's sad that many people don't think it's okay to be white. I mean, that was the question. Is it okay to be white? And so many people said it's not okay to be. Well, what do you mean it's not okay? It's not. You should off yourself. I mean, I don't. This is what happened. This is the lowest of the low. This is where it degrades into if you keep seeing life through the racial lens. Again, culture is sophistication. Race is primitive. It's so primitive. But the more you appeal to the primitive 80%ers out there, the more of you. So this is his grand plan. He was on, but also all these little clips of him. He knew everyone's going to take clips, take what he said out of context. Okay, This is another way to be successful in life, people. Another form of conscientiousness is, if you hear about something, just don't like get a little clip of it. Read the entire article. Watch the entire video. Get some other sources. Like when Kanye West went on his rant, I watched the entire thing, listened when I was driving to the entire thing on Lex Freeman, and I it was so obvious the guy's insane. He's insane. Like with this situation, it's so obvious what Scott Adams is doing. He's trying to retire Dilbert. He's moving on. He's smart, actually. Dilbert is in the paper-based world. Who's going to have newspapers in 20 years? Come on, in 5 years. It's gone down the toilet already. He has transitioned himself into the virtual world in a very good way. Love him or hate him. And I'm not a fan of his. He's just done a great job. He's masterful of the 80%ers. He knows how to monetize them. So he's on Hotep Jesus' show, a show I've never watched before, who obviously, he has built his show a lot around race controversy too. Now, how I'm going to tie this into Bitcoin? I want to see secondary sources, okay? Okay, I want to make sure. I want to get to the bottom of this huge controversy that's being thrown in my face. But because you're on Twitter, and I'm trying to avoid it, but I mean it's all over the place. So I didn't go looking for Scott Adams and this racial lens stuff. All right, I try to avoid it as much as possible. I'm moving from city to city to avoid this kind of toxicity. Okay, this mainstream culture toxicity, fiat toxicity. But so many of you think the fiat toxicity is just going to die. Bitcoin's going to destroy it all. And, proof of work, everyone will learn that proof of work. Verify. So I went out I'm not trusting. I'm out there verifying. I'm watching Hotep Jesus. He interviewed Scott Adams for like an hour and a half. Good. I mean, they were cordial with each other and everything. Very professionally done by Hotep. First thing Hotep advertised, Hotep's got a big advertisement on there for Syscoin. What the heck is Syscoin? I don't even know what Syscoin is. But apparently it's better than Ethereum and Bitcoin, he's saying. And I can't believe it. But I can believe it. And it further strengthens my point about the 80%ers. Hotep Jesus is out there promoting Syscoin. He's got a big audience. The 80%ers out there, they outnumber us 20%ers who can use our brains, okay, who can admire culture, who can read still. All right? Those people who love, they're not long-term thinkers, short-term thinkers, impulsive people. They get high off the freaking the racial lens stuff. They're not going to give it up. They want short-term answers to crypto. Syscoin is the next big thing. They think because Hotep Jesus took some money and put an advertisement out there. These Hotep Jesus got to make money his own way. Okay, whatever you do, what you're going to do, Hotep. I'm just pointing out to the hardcore Bitcoin people out there that think all these other coins are going to die. Is all the racial stuff going to die, dudes? Are the 80%ers all going to disappear? Is 80% mainstream culture going to go away? No, it is not. Be logical, people here. The logical people, we're a minority. It's 20%ers and 80%ers, all right? 20%ers produce 80% of everything that's out there. All right, it's quality. And 20%ers make the world freaking go round and round. 20%ers are part of the elite. And be proud of yourself for being a 20%er. But don't be a realist. Don't be a denier. 80%ers aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to have a tremendous voice in the narrative. Their numbers far outnumber us. They're not all going to become magical Bitcoiners. And thus, these things like Syscoin, like the United States dollar, they're going to be pretty darn, and the United States, they're going to be pretty successful. I want you to go back to the world we live in today. Yeah, we got bad inflation in the United States of America. We got 330 million people here. We're the third most populated country on the face of the planet in the history of mankind. It's worse than freaking India. All right? Would you rather have the Indian rupee as your master? Would you rather have the Pakistani, whatever they got down there? Which you add up Pakistan, Nigeria, and Brazil. All three of those currencies are much worse than the United States dollar. All right. So, and let's go to Nigeria specifically, because I made little short videos about that recently. All right. What's going on with the Naira? It is insane. Nigeria's population will surpass the United States of America in 2050, by the way. So let's say it's 2030. What are you going to do? What's the smart thing to do in Nigeria? Okay, because it's not getting worse. I was telling people to buy Bitcoin. Nigeria's in 2015 and 16. Go to the freaking, it's linked to in my archives. It's on Twitter. Go through TechBalt, all right? And you'll see. I mean, the proof is out there. Not that they're listening or anything like that. But what's the next easy? They should have bought Bitcoin, dude. If they would have turned their Naira into dollars, they'd be a lot better. That's the world we're living in. People that say that you think the United States dollar is going to hyperinflate. What a joke! There's so many more dominoes that are before the United States, and I just named that those people are always going to be in worse shape than the dollar. They will strive for the dollar. They'll want to get out of those places. Nigeria, Russia, Brazil's got some potential to it, and Nigeria's got some potential to it. Does Pakistan? I don't know. If they're the way under a religious authoritarian regime, no, they don't have a hope in the world. Okay, Nigeria is not ruled by a religion though. It is not. It is they might have some religious strife. By the way, I just want to point out in Mozambique, there's a civil war. There's like a terrorist civil war there. Why don't we send $50 billion there? Why is that? Why isn't anybody hear about Mozambique? The Wagner Group in Russia, they have people in Mozambique. It's in northern Mozambique, apparently, where the issues have begun. The civil strife in northern Mozambique is because. What's the difference between northern Mozambique and Ukraine? Why don't we hear about what's going on? Just want to put, because there are plenty of. I'm throwing it out there again. There are real conflicts going on in this world right now. Do we have to worry about everyone? That's the thing. Instead of stealing our tax money and deciding which one of these things to have a proxy war and play games with, instead of doing that. Why can't we be free to fund what we want? If I want to fund what's going on in the Ukraine, I can't. If I start to send it, well, first of all, I couldn't send my fiat there. Of course, that would be stopped immediately. But if it was found out that I was, funding the violent side of a conflict in any country with cryptocurrency, if it was found out I was doing that, I would be thrown in jail in the United States. I mean, you can't do that. You're not allowed. Why? Why aren't you allowed to do that? You should be freedom of money, freedom of association. And I want to go back to freedom of association. Okay? Let's go back. So it's let private individuals pay with their own. And I would never, I'm not funding any wars. I don't want to do anything like that. I hate war. But let private individuals do it. Instead, what we got is tremendous countries with unlimited money. They're the ones. That's why war, and that's where the Bitcoiners are correct. That fiat money does promote war. It very much does. It very much does. Very much does. But useful slaves in countries do too. Nigeria, Pakistan, they shouldn't stand for this at all. it's all their currencies are constantly being devalued. Games are constantly being played. They've really ramped it up in Nigeria lately, saying that the physical money it's no longer valid. It's expired or something. You need new. It's just crazy what they've done. Because they're trying to hide the inflation. They just do all these little impulsive games where they think the leaders are so corrupt. They know they can string everybody on even more. And it's just so sad that huge hunks of these populations, they're such 80%ers. They're such slaves. They keep their money in banks that are valued in naira. I mean, how could you? I mean, at least as long as I've been making videos like on a very regular basis. I mean, I started making these Bitcoin videos in 2013 on a very regular basis in 2015. There's been no excuse to have a bank account in South African Rand. And by the way, South African Rand is better than Pakistan, better than Nigeria. And those are, again, those countries' populations are better than Nigeria, are so much larger than the United States. I mean, if you add them all up, Pakistan, Nigeria, and whatever, just Indonesia throw in there. I mean, it's crazy. And South Africa's currency is better than Indonesia's too. But I've been warning South Africans since 2015 when I first visited there. What a beautiful country. How can you keep your money in this? And when you have the Bitcoin option, look how wealthy all these people would have become if they would have gotten out of their weird currencies. And they are weird currencies. Okay, you might hate the dollar and all that, but there's a top level fiat tier that they all could have gotten into. The dollar is one of it. It would have preserved their wealth more than the Nigerian naira. If you would have gotten to the yen, the euro. I mean, these are, even though Australian dollar is pretty top tier there. Well, it is the top, but what is it? The top ones are the euro, the Swiss franc, the yen, and the dollar. I guess. And China, China will one day surpass the United States, the dollar. Yeah, go ahead, make my day. They're so corrupt. They arbitrarily change things to our culture. Let's tie it back to our culture. Even though people can't see, they rarely base their entire life around seeing things through a cultural lens. They have to let the racial lens dominate things. But everyone knows. I mean, you go to different countries that the United States culture. Popular culture. It's what everybody copies our popular culture. Let's say it that. Our 80% culture, they all wish they could have our rappers. They all wish they could have our cars and everything and the freedom that's here. So that puts a certain value in the dollar. Where do these fiat currencies get value and respect from? It's from the standing of the country in the world among the 80%ers. And to this day, United States giving away all this money, whether it be for foreign aid or funding war, it does prop up the status of the dollar. It's very strange. I know it seems backward almost, but if you think about it, the way we market the dollar, it's not going anywhere. All right, so there and that doesn't make Adam Meister a fan of the dollar. That doesn't. If you ask Adam Meister, what would he rather own? Ethereum or the dollar? Ethereum, obviously, any day of the week. What would you rather own? The dollar or the naira? Ooh, the dollar, any time. There's a hierarchy of value that's out there. Adam Meister, strong hand and unique beast, says Stefan Reese. Hey man, hey dudes, do the super chat or the just type in Bitcoin Meister, make it colorful so I can see it. Zach Allen says Trump is a hard money guy, but he's going to prop up their dollar because he is pro-US. Trump is blind. His understanding of fiat currency is like, it's fascistic. It's like, be loyal to the dollar. And that is why the dollar cannot have competition in the United States. And that is why I don't like Bitcoin. That's terrible. That's fascistic. And I don't know if it goes beyond that, just like to be a loyal American. And he knows that appeals to a lot of people in America. Like if he says, I want to regulate Bitcoin and cryptocurrency because it's not the dollar and the dollar is patriotic, that appeals to people. But that's the 80%er stuff. And it's freedom of association, people. If you don't want to be around the Scott Adams type of loving people of the world, or the people, or the Scott Adams hating people of the world, go away. Go away. And that's one of the scary things about the authoritarian cadre of people in the virtual world. They get on every woke trend that's out there. And then if you're not part of it, they don't think that's acceptable. Like, you cannot have an alternative opinion. And that's the thing you got to remember, people. If you're a confident decentralist, just ignore these people. Ignore these people. Freedom of association. If they call you a racist, they call you a racist. Ignore them. They're not your friends. Just don't associate with them on the internet. That is another one of my pillars. Freedom of association. And it takes a lot to really believe in that, because 80%ers, the mentality is like, I want to fit in. I want to be cool. Fitting in is overrated. But most people, in order to fit in, they give up their freedom of association. Well, I gotta hang out with these people, and I gotta retweet this, I gotta support this, and I can't show that I really believe this, and I really want to be friends with these people. It's disgusting. You're a slave. If you really believe in freedom of association, and then you respect other people, that like, okay, this Bitcoiner like Scott Adams, all right, I can still like this Bitcoiner. All right, I can still like this Bitcoiner. Adam Meister said he would rather have Ethereum than gold. I can still like it. He's not a villain. I disagree with that, maybe, but I could still. It's free if he wants to associate with Ethereum stuff, and Ethereum is the next Ethereum. I mean, someone's going to scream out, Solana is the same thing as, or not Solana, Syscoin. Syscoin, whatever this dude is with Hotep Jesus is promoting, is the same as Ethereum. No, it's not. And just to so going back to the Syscoin, the marketing of altcoins is not ending, dudes. And 80%ers are going to jump on all sorts of things. Hey, take for today. Today, for example, Hex is pumping. Hex of all things. Why is Hex pumping? I don't know. But why has Hex got such a loyal, rabid fan base? Well, because they all worship around one person who makes them feel good. It is an ego coin, and he is great at marketing. And he appeals to the lowest of the low. He really knows how to appeal. He knows how to appeal to 80%ers like Scott Adams does. Richard Hart, I mean, he's got something of Scott Adams in him. Think about it. I mean, that's a deep question. Try to integrate this. Just integrate this, and that when I have to deal with this 80%er stuff, I try to integrate it into my Bitcoin knowledge, into my life knowledge, to show how things work. And all of these things that I'm talking about, it's all great for Bitcoin. It's all great for Bitcoin because it makes Bitcoin that much more elite, that much more of a thinking man's thing. And as I said before, the 20%ers make this freaking world go round. And the smart money is getting into Bitcoin. It's been, we talk about the corporations are eventually going to get here, and they're here. All this stuff that was eventually going to get here in 2015, it's here. And that's part of the reason that Bitcoin is worth what it's worth in terms of fiat and what it did get up to. And then it will return to its all-time high, okay? So all of this other nonsense out there, it's distractions. It can be carried on for so long. It can be incredibly profitable and give all sorts of people power. But the real hardcore truth, and Bitcoin is a security truth machine, it always rises to the top. The elitism is looked down upon, but in the long run, if you are involved in any form of elitism, productive elitism, you're going to live a really good life. You are going to have wealth. And Bitcoin is the pinnacle right there. So understanding what isn't part of elitism and what is a distraction, but what you shouldn't touch, because Bitcoin can be boring sometimes. It can be really freaking boring. Like if you tell someone, well, there's a 4-year cycle. I can't wait around that long, Adam. If you say to someone that's like, oh, well, it's 25,000 or 24,000 right now, whatever it is right now. And it was down to 16 before. So why don't I wait till I get to 16 again? And you tell them every point in Bitcoin's life, if you take 4 years from that date, it's worth more. So can you wait? And it's 210,000 blocks. I'm not going to get, but it's 210,000 blocks theory. So on this day, God, it's hard. If this day in 2027, Bitcoin's going to be worth more. Can you wait that long? You fiat freak? I mean, it's that simple. This day, back in 2019, when I was, I don't even know where I was this day. I probably was in Los Angeles on this day. I mean, Bitcoin was worth what? $6,000, $4,000, whatever, $5,000. It was something like that. It's worth more. All right. So but this for people is boring. They want the high of the Syscoin or the hex pump and the hex. And you understand the hex stuff. The way he knows what to appeal to. You own hex, you get more hex. It produces more hex. It's unit bias. It can go up, so it's only 6 cents. It can go to 8 cents, and you're doing so great. Oh wow. But people to understand, maybe hex will be worth as much as an Ethereum one day. No, it won't. Look at the market cap. In a case like that, look at the market cap of these altcoins that you think, and the same goes for Ripple. We're talking about what these people are hoping for. If the market cap actually reaches what some of them, their crazy predictions, I mean, it would be more than $250 billion. It'd be more than what the whole world is worth. It's amazing. It's amazing. High and low for Bitcoin for the remainder of 2023. Team AAA asked me. Well, have you been paying attention to what I've been saying? I mean, it's long-term thinking. I can't give you a specific prediction. I can tell you that this day in 2027, it will be worth more. That's my prediction for 2023. Okay, I'll tell you this. This 2023 is 2019 again. It's the 4-year cycle. 2023. So we're not having an all-time high. We're not having an all-time. If it's anything like 2019, there'll be another Facebook burst because we had during 2019 we had this Facebook pump that was quite amazing, and then it went down again. But it didn't get close to an all-time high. No, we're going to be in for some rough times again. This is still an off year. But what's going to happen is when it doubles the low of the cycle, and the low, God willing, was on November the 10th during the panic over FTX. During the panic over FTX, it was 15,500. So let's get to 32,000. All right, to be on the safe side, let's get to 32, and then the bull market will have started, but you just don't really realize it yet. Well, the bull market will start again. We'll get to 32,000. I don't want to make specific. Again, the bull market will start again in 2023 because it started in 2019. It got to 6,000. I think it took 6 months from the low of last cycle, which was November of 2018. Yeah, I talked about 7. I think it was June when it was already double. And by June of 2019, we didn't know it, but the bull, now we'll know it because of the doubling. Okay, that's a good sign. But this summer, the bull, we'll be in the bull again. Bull, bear, this, that, and the other. Next year will be better. Be a long-term thinker. You shouldn't be flipping it anyway and being a CUCK to the United States government. And by the way, a lot of people cry and try to scapegoat banks. I got to tell you people something, all right? Because all of you know that I'm not selling a Bitcoin for fiat until the original goal was to wait until 2020 halving. Remember, that was my saying: 2020 halving or bust, and then it's 2024 halving. Okay, so I've never sold a Bitcoin for fiat, and I want to make sure that I have enough fiat to live until the halving of 2024. Dude, it's about a year away. Unbelievable, isn't it? Isn't it just awesome? Keep asking questions too. But yeah, 2024 halving will be in April, maybe maybe March. It'll probably be. I thought originally it was going to be around, Purim. I thought of, Purim is in a few days here, in this year. But but whatever. I try to always remember it would be around this holiday, that holiday. But in order to make it a year more, I want to make sure I got enough fiat in the bank and everything. And again, for those of you that vilify the banks, I'm associated with quite a few banks through credit cards and whatever. These credit cards have all these offers and stuff. I was shocked. You see these 0% loans, but then there's like a 4% one-time fee. So I mean, in this time of inflation, if you're responsible, and so few of you are, you could get pay 4% for a year. There are people that they know how to turn that fee out into something good, all right, and to live off of it, because the inflation rate is more than 4%. So you're doing well in a situation like that. Now, I don't know why this happened to me, this story that I'm about to tell you, which is a shocking story. And part of it, I have a great credit score. I mean, this is part of the thing. I've been responsible my entire life, okay, financially. All right. This is part of, going, thinking long term. I didn't want, I never, I had a bill. I always pay my bills. This is normality. Most people think, you don't pay bill. That's a new thing. The government bails you out. Well, that whole lifestyle, that culture that was ingrained in me by my family, this is a culture of personal responsibility. It's paid off. One of these big banks that you try to vilify so much, I was just able to take out, I was just able to get $32,000 in fiat from them, transferred into my bank account. 0% rate until May of 2024, no fees. I'm not making that up, and I just gave you the real numbers, 0 and 0. These people, this bank just gave me $32,000. And I had been checking the special offer, and it was always a 4% fee, which makes sense. All of a sudden, I see it 0% and 0. I'm like, what is going on here? Right away, I'm like, 32,000. So whatever. That's a little, and I don't know if any of you, if you're part of a big bank, and you get credit card offers, keep checking the online version of it, like not just the stuff they mail you. And most of you throw away the stuff they mail you anyway. I used to, but just check. I don't know if that was a blip or whatever, why it happened to me. If it was like a one-day test offer, if they do special things on the internet to trigger you, but that's reality. That's a wealthy guy getting richer. Okay, it's the same thing. People complain about how Zuckerberg can get a 1% loan for $1 billion or something like that. I mean, it's scaled down quite a bit there. It is scaled down quite a bit, but it's a similar thing. So I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is just like, yeah, this guy's good to go. We know he's going to pay, but they're making no money off the situation. The only thing I guess they're hoping and praying is if I if you don't pay off, I mean, there's a monthly, you pay a little bit of the $32,000 off every month. Like, what is it? $200? That's nothing. Well, if you forget to pay the $200, yeah, then all of a sudden what you owe them is it goes up to 23% or something like that instead of 0%. That's not happening. And so, yeah, for those of you who don't think I could make it just on fiat for the next year and not sell my Bitcoin, who don't believe that I've never sold a Bitcoin before, dude, $32,000, 0%. What? So yeah, they're so evil. Those banks are so evil. Oh, they're evil. Oh. I think I have no problem. I'm not going to scapegoat them. They did me well. They're doing me darn well into 2024, baby, until May of 2024, which is after the half. Okay, so that's a little insider information. Zach says, "What bank?" I don't know if I should answer that question, just because I don't really want to say which. So just you'll know what bank I have. 32,000. I don't want to say which one. There's only three major banks in the United States of America, aren't there? Three or four. So I mean, you can narrow it down to 3 or 4. I mean that I'm not going to lie about that. It's one of the 3 or 4 big ones. One of the 3 or 4 biggest ones. So again, if you are most likely you are associated with one of the 3 or 4 big ones. You either have a credit card with them, or bank account with something with them. Check your offers. You'll see this small print usually says, if they offer you a 0% rate, it says 4%, but go online and just keep on. There's different ways to play around. If you're logged into your credit card account, or if you're logged into your bank account, there are different ways to jump around and stuff and see the weird things they offer. And some of you aren't going to get these offers at all because you have horrible credit. I mean, you're not, there's a certain level. I have my credit score is excellent. Dude, I remember when I was younger, like I sent away to the Experian or whatever, and it said I had an 853 out of 850 or something. It was insane. It was insane what my score was. Oh my God. All right. But how about this? If you're interested in what bank, you contact me personally, and I'll tell you what bank it is. If you're interested in looking into what bank, you contact, but I'm not telling you how to contact me personally because it's all listed below, and I say it so many times, and I just, I want smart people to contact me. It's so easy to contact me personally. But yeah, I'll give you a little bit more information. All right, but it's not necessarily going to qualify for you. You're not necessarily going to qualify for it. I hope you are. I hope you guys do. It pays off to be to admire the culture of personal responsibility and not being a freaking flake and paying your rent on time. Again, we have a whole nation of renters now that have been trained like, I don't have to pay rent anymore. Yeah, you don't get what I get either, do you? If you live that life, there's price for every lifestyle. Everything is a choice. You make a choice. You make a choice, dudes. I chose Bitcoin starting in 2013. What a beautiful choice it has been. You can choose not to pay your rent, live rent-free, think you're getting away with whatever. You're not. That's your choice. And then you come crying again. You want your free rent. I mean, it's unbelievable. All right, let's see. What else do we? Henry, I hope you're liking this. Let me see what else I have. I got Hotep written down here. Oh, God. But yeah, I do want to encourage anyone, when any of these popular culture things come up and you're mildly interested in it, do the research. Just don't do the mindless clips. Ordinals are still interesting to me. There's somebody that's building a dot sats. All these people do .eth that could connect you to all your Ethereum address. Well, there's a dude through Ordinals is doing .sats. I linked to him below. It's sats_names. And I say, be productive. I admire that he's in motion. I love people that are doing things. And some people that aren't even doing things on Bitcoin, that are doing things on Ethereum, they're doing things, whatever. They're creative. They're adding to the space. I'm not going to be a hater. I'm not going to be a scapegoater. I'm not going to be envious. I am going to be a confident decentralist. If they're building something awesome on Ethereum, let them do it. But this guy with .sats is building something awesome on Bitcoin. So love it. All right, I talked about the 2024 halving is so close. Hey, since I'm rich and everything, and I just got $32,000 for free, I do want to take my family on another expensive family vacation. So do any of do have this Disney World. I don't like anymore. That was terrible. I mean, just it's bad in many ways. I want to go to Kennebunkport, Maine. I've been thinking about that. So can someone? And I've been there once before. That's an elite place. That's a place of culture. Wow. And yeah, I know George Bush has a freaking compound there. I ran by it, and there were Secret Service dudes there. It was kind of freaky. And they look at you, not in a nice way when you run by. Now, but with that aside, it's obviously a safe town. And I want to take my family there. It's by the way, a little tidbit. Growing up on the East Coast in Baltimore, Maryland, in my culture, for some unknown reason, I didn't go to Maine until 2015. Okay, I was not a kid anymore, to say the least. That was the first time I ever went to Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Those were three of the last states I ever visited. I visited all the states now. But any of you actually been to Kennebunkport before that have any tips? I'm also, I don't know if that's going to happen this summer or not. I'm thinking about also this place I just found out about, Bear Lake, and I've been talking to somebody from Utah about that. That seems interesting. I don't know if my family, if they'll be able to schlep all the way out there. I'll be out there in Utah. I'll be in Salt Lake City in for Shavuot I'll be out there for May. I'll be in May. I'll be in Salt Lake City all of June. I'll be all of June in Salt Lake City for those of you who care. Okay, and then maybe after that some. Let me see. We talked about Scott Adams, ordinals, dot sats, which I linked to. So good for dot sats. Altcoin flavor of the month. That was something I used to say a lot. Dudes, they still have them. Remember? Here specifically what I wanted to give you a flashback on. Do any of you remember when NEM was the altcoin flavor of the month? NEM was the next big thing. NEM was the next big sis coin. NEM was what the Hotep Jesuses of the world were promoting on their shows. Do any of you remember NEM? I don't know. I remember that one. I listened to a Thomas Sowell book when I drove from Baltimore to Lafayette back in December, the day after the holiday that a lot of you celebrate on December 25th. I was on December 26th. I drove to, but I listened to Thomas Sowell kept on saying, "Be on the side of the angels." That is what these woke people love to virtue signal about. They don't care what they stand for. They want to show everybody, I'm on the side of the angels. I'm on the side of the angels. Dudes, if you are confident enough to be on the opposite side of what the so-called angels are on, you're freaking a confident, decentralist, unique beast, okay? And I pride myself on that. The mainstream media portrays certain people, certain movements as angelic, and can do no wrong, even though it's blatantly right in front of our face that they're doing wrong and harm and stealing and destroying. But if you could just, be on the opposite side of the so-called angels, you are great. And I want to comment on the word democratization or democratizing. A lot of people are innocent and think that just simply means, giving power to the people, giving political power to the people, giving people the ability to vote on their leaders. There are different ways of interpreting certain aspects of democracy and the word democratization. But let me tell you something. When these people, and I forgot the guy's name now, the former Greek communist that his videos get thrown in my face by the mindless algorithm. I'm not an algorithm slave, but I forgot what his name is now. It's not Andreas. I forgot what this guy's name is. All I know is that he recently spoke in Cuba and was calling them all comrades. I couldn't believe the stuff he was saying about Western society and how evil the West is and everything. But he talks about the democratization of businesses. Do you know, what's his name? Yanis Yopopopakakis or something like that? He's a smart guy and everything, but he's two-faced. He'll talk on certain shows a certain way, and then in front of the freaking Cuban audience, he's talking like a full threat. He's hailing Fidel. It's unbelievable. the murderer Fidel. But what is democratization in terms of corporations? It's stealing from the owners. That's all it is. That's what these people are like. I'm not a communist. I just believe in democratization of corporations. What's wrong with the people having say in the way the workers should have say in the way their corporations work? Okay. So, the janitor at the hospital should be able to vote. All the janitors of the hospital, if they outvote the doctor, then the doctor has to perform the operation on you that they want him to. So if you signed up for to go to the doctor, and he's going to perform the leg amputation. No. The vote, it says that he's got to amputate something a little bit more vital, and that's taking to an extreme, as you know. But and I really shouldn't have used the medical industry there. But I just want to show you how insane democratization can become in different realms of life. All right? Elitism. Strive for it. Let the owners decide how they're going to run their business. If you don't like don't patronize their business. Don't work for their business. Go somewhere else. Quit. Okay? Are you that much of a loser that you're not that confident in yourself that I got to work for this business, so I got to steal from him and tell him how to run it now? I got to have the government come in and democratize things. And make no mistake about it, stakeholder capitalism is totally based around that, around the democratization. So let these it's the inclusivity and the equity. Let these people vote. The workers vote on it. Not only let the workers vote on it, let the stakeholders that aren't even work on there vote on it and tell people. That's democratization right there. Yeah, let the people this is better. Let the people in the neighborhood tell the business what to sell. The business is selling been selling computers successfully for a while, but the stakeholders in the neighborhood, they voted, and you're going to have to sell. You're going to have to sell apple cider vinegar now, or beans, or whatever Adam has laying around here that he's going to be eating pretty soon. All right, so that's democratization is a covert way of stealing, of theft. Beware of that word. Beware of that word. It takes you down that stakeholder capitalism, Marxism, fascism, all sorts of fun things, that isms that are woo. All right. All right. Okay, that's enough. Is there anything algorithm? Oh yeah. What's this algorithm slave thing I have here? Oh yeah. Again, and I alluded to this before. The people out there that say Twitter has to change its algorithm, that Facebook has to change its algorithm, that the government must force these companies to do this because of antitrust. And antitrust is horrifying. It's an arbitrary thing that governments deem you a monopoly whenever they want to because they hate you and are envious. Ayn Rand said it was like the worst law out there. She had a really good freaking point there. Okay, it's a fascistic power grab. Is all this antitrust stuff is. The government doesn't like you, so they come up with this excuse, call you a monopoly, even though you're not a monopoly. YouTube isn't a monopoly. Google, there are other search engines besides Google and all this, and algorithms. If you don't like their algorithms, go make your own, or go use another one that doesn't use the freaking algorithm. Don't be an algorithm slave either. That's the other thing. With Twitter, you don't have to eat. You can totally ignore the algorithm. With YouTube, you can. What it is that there are people in the spoiled world that we live in today, where all these people have these platforms now. They never would have had these platforms without these tech giants. They would never be known to anyone because of these tech giants. Fame has been decentralized, has been spread, has been redefined. There are so many more people that are famous and known now than before, okay? And that's because of these platforms, these tech. All right, so now you're not getting as many 80%ers viewing you as you were before at your height because of the algorithm. Well, compare it to what you would have been in 1985. No one would have known you at all. You'd be sitting out there in the parking lot screaming from a pedestal, hoping some people listen to you or something. I don't know what you would be. You'd be at the library renting space and posting signs, hoping 10 people would listen to your communist ideas or whatever. Okay? Again, everybody hates Zuckerberg. Everybody hates Jack Dorsey. If these platforms did not exist, so many people would not be known right now. And so now they're all complaining that, these free platforms, that not as many 80%ers, the algorithm is stifling them in various ways. And it is, okay? But convince the 80%ers not to be algorithm slaves, to treat Twitter like a web page, to treat Twitter, YouTube like a web page. Just don't go where YouTube tells you to. Just don't go where Twitter tells you to. But that's what most people do. That's what most of these creators even do. That's what they're relying on. And they want the government to come in, to change things, to split things up, to punish them, punish these companies, because these people can't educate, because these people don't understand what I understand. But guess what? The 80%ers are always going to be algorithm slaves. And you're not going to, popularity is, there's a balance between popularity and appealing to intelligent people. And, you have to appeal to the lowest denominator. That's how we started this thing. If you want to be an algorithm slave, what does get the hits? Ask Scott Adams. It's the racial controversy. Ask the woke people. It's the racial controversy. It's the most primitive of everything. So I think that ties everything up. And if you're happy being a primitive animal, then that's your take, dude. But try to be, you're going to be more prone to begging the government to just take care of every aspect of your life and to try to ruin other companies that you don't even have to deal with. And that's just pathetic. And I'm calling it out because I'm not on the side of the freaking angels. Pound that like button. That's it, dude. Thanks a lot to everybody who watched this show. It was an hour. I really had fun. Felt like I was really, integrating a lot of different outside of popular culture, just ways of thinking into what I like with Bitcoin, and just tying it all together. And yeah, I go way beyond Bitcoin, and I enjoy learning, I enjoy reading, and I enjoy using this thing up here. And I realize not everybody does. 20% at most, right, dudes? But a show like this, I really feel happy about. Brain is really going, and here we go. They don't want it to end. Alpha Network sent me at 10 Rand, I believe, speaking about the South African Rand. Great Wednesday, Master, or Meister, whatever you want to call me. What do you think of artificial intelligence? Oh my God, in the blockchain. Can Ajax and Fetch be alternatives? AI on blockchain. Congratulations on the job. What job? On the free money I got from Bank of America. I have no job, dude. Because I own Bitcoin. That's why I don't need a job. I do this. But what I want to say about AI. So you are maybe talking about coins that have something to do with AI. I want to say this. There's two different things that are going on with artificial intelligence. First of all, it's going to help us a lot. There's always going to be a bias on a certain level, as we can see. But it's a hot thing. It's going to get overhyped. Some people are way too scared of it right now. But the media is really talking about it. And because of this, every Harry, Dick, and Jane out there is going to, in what they're doing in life, they're going to try to brand it as AI, even when it's not AI. So we're going to have all these coins out there that are just going to be like, I'm AI. And it's just my prediction with AI in the cryptocurrency world. What do they have to do with one another? Nothing. But they're going to be all these altcoins, flavor them. That's going to be like the next flavor of the months. All the ones that can somehow say they have something to do with AI, with artificial intelligence. So in our little realm here of cryptocurrency and everything, I think anything that's going to do with AI is going to borderline on scam. They're going to be scams that are going to be straight up. People are going to be like, oh, I'm going to make a fake cryptocurrency and say it's AI and sell it to, like OneCoin or whatever. And it'll be successful because 80%ers won't even really know what AI is. And they're just, oh, wow, I read on CNN that AI, I should be scared of it. Artificial intelligence, I should be scared of. But artificial intelligence is going to help people so much. It's going to really save time. Should you treat it as your Lord and Savior? No, you should not, because there are going to be biases. But there are going to be people that are going to use it for really creative ways to save time and make this world more efficient. And the way it aggregates all the world's knowledge is so impressive. Like, there are going to be doctors that are going to, or scientists that are going to ask an AI one day, like, how do I cure cancer? And you might really give like a relevant answer. I mean, this is really exciting stuff. I don't think it's going to go out on the wild right now. I think there's bias in it right now that's hilarious. And I don't think it has anything to do with the blockchain at all, and cryptocurrency. But hey, you sent me $10 in Rand, and you actually brought up another topic that someone had, maybe it was you in the comment section, had brought up before, like, talk about AI and blockchain. There's nothing. Okay, Marco's got a question. As of now, no blockchain, including Bitcoin, can handle mass adoption for everyday transactions. Do you agree? No, the base layer, not. No, you could. There's probably some crappy ones out there that the base layer could. Yeah, there probably are that have sacrificed. They've completely sacrificed security. If you've completely sacrificed security, then that wouldn't. Well, the masses don't care about security. So with the premise that the masses out there, the 80%ers don't care about security at all, there are cryptocurrencies that could handle mass adoption. They won't become popular because, I mean, we're at a point in the evolution of the whole space where it's like you've got your top tier and everything, and then you got nonsense. I mean, well, first of all, the central bank digital currencies totally, since they don't care about security at all, they're going to be so much more convenient than any private blockchain. That there's never going to be what you describe in theory is, you can create a private, a regular cryptocurrency or whatever that's going to be able to handle mass adoption in theory, but it's not going to get mass adoption because of central bank digital currencies and everything else that's out there. But no, but there is not. Could they handle people shopping everywhere? Yeah, there could be ones that can handle people shopping everywhere right now, but they're not going to have security to. They're not going to be very secure. And just the point. I mean, central bank digital currencies would be better right there, because the central bank digital currencies will be giving you fiat interest and stuff like that. Okay, and then the security would fail and they would go up in smoke. That's a certain type of security. There's other parts. There's a give and take between security and throughput, the speed and everything. So there are things that out there right now that could handle all the 80%ers of the world successfully, and there wouldn't be too many losses of money and everything like that. That would be better than. How about this? These credit cards are all going to have their own. They're going to have their own. They're going to go that route, I think. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I take that back. I don't know, it's you're talking about theoretical stuff, Marco, that we shouldn't worry about, because the layers that you build on top of the security truth machine, Bitcoin, that's good enough right there. Okay, that's in terms of secure. That's better than what you speak of. So it's like you're asking me a theoretical question. Is it? I mean, I'm not going to name. There's some that are popping in my head right now that I could actually name But I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to do that. That are out there that could handle all this stuff. I don't want to do that because just use a. We live in such in a world where you can make transactions, regular fiat like transact. Like I don't want to spend my Bitcoin first of all. So, but you're talking about handling a system of finance, their system of money that involves transactions. And you're talking about cryptocurrency. So yeah, it exists, digital and stuff. All right. I went on a little rant there at the last 9 minutes. It's been great. Marco, everybody, thank you so much for today. I really had a fun time. And I hope you that guys that support this show. Oh, we need less than $100 for the next show now. So that's cool. Pound that like button, everybody. And you'll see me real soon, at least on Thomas's show. And who knows, even sooner if we get the money. And also, we're going to have it This Week in Bitcoin with new T-shirts that you'll all love. Bye-bye. Thanks.